Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Boonaa Mohammed coming at you with another Boonafide vlog here exclusively on DOPStv. You know what's crazy about living in this day and age? People can't even decide why they hate you anymore. It's like they don't even really know what about you they don't like. Like, I could understand post 9/11, post Trump, post Brexit, if you see a Muslim woman wearing hijab or a man with a long beard and a thobe, you automatically think, okay, this person sucks, I'm a bigot, I'm a racist, let me go do some damage. Like, that would make sense to me in my mind. I can see the connection. But do we realize in this day and age, first of all, how much Islamophobic hate and violence is actually directed at the Sikh community? You know Sikhs, right? Like, the ones that are not Muslims, the ones that are Sikh, that wear turbans and mostly come from India, but they're not Muslim, but yet people confuse them for Muslims regularly, and because of that, they've had so many countless attacks upon them as individuals, on their places of worship, and it's just completely astonishing. Like, if you're gonna hate Muslims, at least know what we look like, at least know what we're not. Sikhs are not Muslims. I mean, you shouldn't hate Muslims or Sikhs and perpetuate violent attacks against either group, but at least have the decency of knowing who we are and hating us like correctly. And it's not just Sikhs. I mean, like Christian Arabs, Hindus, anyone who looks kind of like brown or beigeish, they have been receiving so much hate because they look Muslim. They're just guilty by association, even though they're not even really associated with us. Now, I'm black, in case you haven't noticed. I'm Muslim. I am the child of refugees, and I have a funny sounding name. According to Western standards, I was pretty much designed to fail. And because now we live in a post-Trump, post-Brexit world, the people who were secretly racists and bigots all along are now coming out of the closet. And we kind of already knew that society had a bias against us. I mean, anyone who's brown or has a Muslim sounding name, you see it in the way news stories are reported all the time. Like, if a Muslim kid gets in trouble for stealing a chocolate bar, all of a sudden it becomes Muslim extremist terrorist charged with stealing chocolate bars to help support the Islamic State tonight at 6 p.m. But if a white guy walks into a Walmart and starts shooting and killing innocent people, all of a sudden it becomes mentally unfit man with no ties to society, did something which none of us agree with, and we have no shame saying that he didn't belong to us whatsoever tonight at 4 p.m. and never to be spoken about after that because the story is not important. Move on. Read the next article. Okay, great. But the good news is that we have tons of allies out there. I mean, we have white people, non-white people, non-Muslim people who see what's happening in the world. They see the racist rhetoric of people like Trump, and they want to help us stand against it. But one thing I've noticed about Muslims is that we rarely get on the forefront of issues that are affecting other segments of society, and then we get confused and wonder why it seems like nobody cares about us. I mean, how many of us have ever even publicly condemned a hate crime or attack against a Sikh who was probably just mistaken for you or I anyways? And where were we when the indigenous and First Nations peoples were fighting for the right to live freely on a land that was stolen from them anyways? And do black lives even really matter to us at all? Do we even really care about police brutality or systemic racism that affects people like me every single day? We want the world to be outraged at what's happening in Palestine, what's happening in Syria, what's happening in Burma, but yet we don't even really care about what's happening to the rest of the world. We as Muslims need to start working together with like-minded individuals to help eradicate hate, injustice, discrimination, and racism from the face of this earth for any oppressive system that we find that is affecting people that look like us and people who perhaps don't look like us. And I don't mean this fake like interfaith, kumbaya, we're all one, let's sing a song together type of activism. I mean, we need to actually go out there and embed ourselves in the struggles of other peoples, not just because it gets us brownie points or it gets us PR opportunities, but because it is the right thing to do and because it is what Islam teaches us to do. Because the Prophet ﷺ taught us that if a person sees something wrong, they should try and change it with their hands. If they can't change it with their hands, they should try and change it with their tongue. If they can't change it with their tongue, then they should at least hate it in their hearts, and this is the weakest form of faith. The people of power, they thrive on our disunity. And it is from the oldest tricks in the colonizer's handbook to divide and conquer people so that they see one another as enemies instead of focusing on their common enemy and working together to overcome their challenges. And Muslims fall right into that trap, because we think that if we keep watering down our Islam or keep changing our names to less ethnic sounding versions of ourselves, that maybe, just maybe, white people will finally accept us. And I'm saying that instead of pleading and begging for acceptance, we should be fighting for our rights alongside other oppressed groups using the political mechanisms available to us in the countries that we live in. And we can only begin to do that, firstly, with the help and tawfiq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and secondly, building sincere bridges with individuals, groups and organizations that have shared common goals and interests with the Muslim community, so long as these goals and objectives are found within what is permissible in the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Jazakumullah khairan for watching. Stay tuned for another episode of Boonaafide here on DOPStv. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Hold a second.
But Allah Azza wa Jal tells us in the Quran that verily it is...
G'day, mate.